Good evening, everyone. So before I start, I just wanted to take your feedback. Are you enjoying the workshop, learning something new, or do I need to change anything? Do let me know. Okay. So let's get started today. So we already have like 135. So today is like an important day. Okay. So today I will be talking about the core thing, that is the UX process. So today will be everything about the process, how we start and like how we try to understand more about the problem whenever that problem is given to us, and when working in the company, or like whenever we select some problem, or like when we see some problem, and when we as a product designer we want to like create a product, like what should be the approach, what process should we follow. So those things we'll try to understand full process. Okay, so let's get started. Initially, let's understand like why this process is important and how this process evolved. Okay, so this is our background story about like the process and all. Earlier, like earlier when the products were designed, so all the products were designed and developed by the developers, the programmers. So they were the one who were responsible for designing and developing the full end-to-end product. So in those cases, like earlier times, when they used to design, they didn't focus too much on the users. They only used to like work with the business basis their understanding of the problem. They used to work, I mean, like the developer used to work with the business and then create the solution. So that's how it used to happen earlier. But because of that, since there was no user involvement, or like they never went out, did real research, or like worked closely with the users, because of that, though they were able to like create some product, and those products were solving some problems, but it didn't had the best experience, right? And it was not as per the expectation or as per the need of the users, and that was a big challenge. Then they realized that yes, just relying on the developers or will not be enough. So that's why what they did, they thought like let's improve the quality of the product or the solution or the application. And for that, what they did, they started involving the managers. They thought like the developer should be someone else and he should be just made to develop the application, but there should be another person like managing the entire thing, so that like there should be like efficient or effectively management of the full process, and application should be developed nicely of the best quality. But in this process, again, since they were not involving the users, the final outcome or the final product was not the best. So again, they thought how to improve the process. So what they did, they thought let's change something. So what they did, they hired people from different skills. So that was basically the QA and the designers. Still in this process, the role of the designer was not that important. Like he used to come only when everything was designed and developed. The developers and the other people approached him only for like few things, like for colors, some icons, and so on. That is what the role was then. So basically, there was like a manager who used to manage everything, the full process. Then the programmers used to actually, work closely with the business and the managers, and they used to develop the product. And then once the product was developed, there was like a QA or the testers who used to test that application. And till this stage, no involvement of designer was there. So designer used to come only when everything was designed, everything was there in place, and programmers, they used to come to him for just few things like change the color or like for some buttons and so on. So that's why like they were still able to make functional products, but still the experience was not there. So later they realized that there is some gap. Okay, and in order to improve the experience and improve the quality of the process, they shift the position of the designer. Okay, now in this process, if you'll see, the designer started working very closely with the managers. Okay, managers is someone who represents the business. So when the designers started working with the managers, what happened, they, since the designers were creative and they could use their creative juices to like come up with like right solutions and all, it basically creativity, ideation, and all those things. So that started coming up. So what used to happen now, the designers were like used to take the brief from the managers, and then used to come up with like mock-ups, the screens, and so on. And then after it was approved by everybody, then they started like then these designs were given to the programmers and the developers. And once the programmers developed the application, it was again forwarded to the QA who was to test everything. And then after everything was okay in terms of design, in terms of like the development, the backend application functionalities and all, it was then shipped in the market. So how it evolved, it evolved from like one person responsible for the entire product to a team. And also with time, there were a lot of different people who were involved, like the programmers, then the managers, then the QA, and so on. So this is how the process evolved. Okay, and then came the UX process. When this process came, the UX process, people started understanding the importance of the experience. They started focusing on the user, and in order to give and serve the user in the best way, they started involving the user in the full process, not just like at the end of the process, but from the beginning. I think I showed you this, right? Like there are different kind of process, like HCD process, then double diamond process, and so on. So I'm not taking any of those processes, but I have created a small process, like, simplified version of the process, just in order to explain the concept of like what this UX process is and how it works. Okay, so whenever you will be working on any product, so you will be given either a problem statement or a challenge or something like that, right? So what you have to do, once you have that challenge or the problem statement, you basically, as a designer, you'll have to go and do the research. You have to find like whether that challenge or the problem statement is real or not, or basically is there a real need of that product or not. Okay, for this, what you do, you use different research methods, and they're like different kind of research method. We'll talk about it, like primary research method, secondary research methods. So in this research, what we do is like we try to first talk to the user and try to understand from him what is the problem and what is his need and so on. So basically we try to understand everything about the user. Okay, and also about other things like where he lives, how many hours he uses the product, and for what he uses the product. So basically we try to study everything about the user in the first stage. That is the research. Okay, what I talked in the first stage, what we do is like we first understand the challenge or the problem statement, and then we go to the user, research about the user, and then also use different methods to find out about the user, like, and also parallelly do the market research. So that is the first stage. We'll talk more about this. And second is like once you are done with the research, once you have got insights, okay, so what do you do next? You basically try to get meaning out of that. How can we use this? What is the problem? How can we help the user? And what should be the roadmap of the product? What feature should be part of the product? What should be the roadmap? What should be shipped in the first phase, and then what should be shipped later, and so on, right? So that is basically presenting research and analysis after the research. And once you are clear that, okay, so this is what you are building or going to build, then you start doing the ideation. So you basically come together like as a team. Like if you're working in a team, you come together, everybody like from different teams, and then start ideating. And then during this ideation, you might come up with a lot of different ideas. Okay, but you can't work on all the ideas, right? So what you do is like you use different methods to select one idea. Sometimes like we use dot voting method. So basically you finalize one idea, and then once the idea is finalized, you create different artifacts. So basically you get into design, and design is basically you create lo-fi design, hi-fi design. Also you create prototype, and once you have the prototype, what you do is you go and test the prototype with the user. After the ideation, after the wireframe, after the lo-fi design, as a designer, as a UX person, we go to the user there also. Okay, so that time also like we test with the user. User should be involved in all the stages of the process. It's not that like after you're done with the prototype, then only you should involve him. So user should be involved whenever you think that you want something from the user, you want to learn more about the user or take his feedback, you should involve him in this process. Okay, so this is a very high end flow. So now let's get into the detail. We'll talk about it, like what are the different things that we do in each stage. So in the first stage is basically, I talked about it. So understanding the challenge and the research. So once you have the understanding of what you're working on, okay, so where do you get this problem statement? From the business. Okay, if you're working in a business, your boss will come or your manager will come and tell you like, oh, so we have this problem statement and we need to come up with the solution. So as and when you, or basically whenever you get this challenge, what it should do is you should first try to understand whether this is a real need of this product or not, or like whatever you're working on. Okay, I think Jeevan has some question. Jeevan, yes?
Yes, actually, there's a question from my side.
Yeah.
Now we do the UX process, right? When you come to the test and iterate process, imagine like we have developed an app, like based on the user, we have given our feedback, and depending on their thing, we have created an app. Okay. Now what if like there should be a changes, right? Like there'll be regular changes and updates to the app.
Mhm.
So while we are planning to like have a group discussion about the changes required, so is it like we're going to go from step one again, like understanding the research, analyzing, presentation, or is it like we're going to iterate from the fifth stage only?
No, it again depends. In case like, at the end after testing, if you figured out that, oh, there was like an important feature that you did not implement or do not have in this application, okay, and it's a must, then if you had already done research, then you'll not go and like do the research again. Then you'll start with the ideation. But in case this is a new feature and you have not done any research and you don't have an understanding of like anything about what that feature is or like what that is supposed to do, so then in that case you might have to like start with from the stage one or stage two, depending upon your
It
understanding.
depends upon the thing what we're going to add in it.
Yes, and that's why like this UX is not a linear process. You
Yes.
might be at stage 4 and suddenly you might realize that, oh, this is not done or this is not the correct flow after testing.
Yes.
Then you might have to go to stage 1 or stage 2 or stage 3.
Mm.
Okay?
Yes. Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
correct. Perfect. So let me start with the stage 1 first. here what I've done is I've broken this down into 5 stages. Okay, depending upon where you're working, in some companies it's 4-step process or 4-stage process. Somewhere it's like 6. So, you know, don't go into the numbers. Understand the process. The process is important.
Yes,
Fine.
sir. Got it.
So,
Yes.
okay, perfect. So when what we do is like once we get the brief or the explanation of like what we are supposed to work on, what we do is like we first get more detail about that problem. So we start with something called as alignment workshop. So alignment workshop could be like, could be the workshop that you conduct with people from the other teams. It could be a marketing team, it could be a product team, it could be a development team or business team, right? So basically why you do that? Just in order to understand more about the problem and understand more about the brief or the requirement, right? So basically like when you're working in a company, what might happen is like the requirement might be like something related to marketing. So in order to get more information about marketing and understand that marketing space, you might have to get in touch with the marketing people, correct? Similarly, if you're working on a product, you might have to get in touch with the product people. So again, depending upon like what you're working on, what is the ask or the challenge or the problem statement, you basically conduct a lot of alignment workshops. First you conduct with like other people, like maybe business, then the other team like marketing, and then with the other members of your team itself, like designers, the copy guys, and so on. And also it might be with the developers. So basically what you do is like once you have the basic understanding of your problem statement, you align with them in order to understand, okay, more about that space. And also if there is any limitation about technology, or if the other team have some good understanding about that particular space. So we do a lot of these alignment workshops to understand more about the problem. Okay. And then once we have that, what we do is like, not we, basically there are other people also who work on this, like the business vision, product goals. They're like the product owners, they work and define this, but you should also participate in that. Okay, you should work very closely with the product people, that is product owner and product manager, because they are the one who will work with you closely, to actually define the future roadmap and so on. And then also what you do is like you also try to understand from the other stakeholders, like who is the user for whom you are going to create the product. Okay, so once you have the basic understanding by conducting different alignment workshops, and then after you have this understanding, you start doing the research. There are different research methods. Okay, there are primary research methods, secondary research methods, we'll talk about it. There are other ways how we categorize the research methods. One is called as the qualitative and the other is called as the quantitative. So quantitative are basically those research methods where we get the output or the result in the form of numbers, and qualitative is basically where we don't get the output in the form of numbers, right? So in the quantitative, we use different methods, and these could be like surveys, data analysis. It might be an existing app, and in order to improve something or add new feature, you might have been asked to do something. So in order to like understand whether something is working or what is not working and what should be improved, what to do is like use data to understand where is the problem and what can be fixed to improve the experience. Okay, along with that, we also do a lot of this marketing analysis, comparing like numbers of other companies, competitors. So we also do that. We'll understand this more in the future sessions, but this is a very high level just to understand or make you understand that yes, there are different methods. And in the qualitative, what we do is like we conduct interviews. We go and talk to the user. We ask a lot of questions about the product, their expectations from the product. Okay, and if there is an existing product and if they're facing any problem, we try to check that and understand that too. And also what we do is like we also form a focus group, and we get a lot of feedbacks from the people. And once we have the feedback, we do or perform like different kind of activities, and this could be like basically empathy mapping. I'll teach about all those things, okay, don't worry. So and then something called as card sorting. Storyboarding is basically rough sketches of like how the flows would be, or story of how the user would be using the product, and so on, right? Along with that, we create rough mood board, in the sense like what are the existing apps and how they are actually solving the problem. So it's all about research, understanding what's there in the market, what the user wants. And there's something called as user diary. So we basically go and ask the user to write everything, whatever he's doing, whenever he's using the product in the diary in the form of rough notes and all. And there is another method that's called as the ethnography study, that is basically going and spending time with the users. Okay, if he's a teacher, he basically works in a village. So basically, in order to understand like how it works and how you use the technology or the product, whatever. So as a designer, as a researcher, sometimes we go and sit with him, spend whole day with him. It might be 1 day, 2 day, 5 day, 10 day, depending upon product to product. So that is basically ethnography study. We also study about his demography, where he lives, and what is his cultural background, a lot of other things we do. Okay, and the other thing is basically we review a lot of literature. Literature is basically could be white papers, could be books, could be journals, could be blogs. So that's basically published material. Okay, so we read those things also. And the core idea here is what? Core idea is to understand firstly whether the problem is a real problem or not. If that is a real problem, then we use different methods to understand more about that problem. And when working on this, when doing the research, we basically create a full ecosystem, or basically we try to map everything. Okay, like in the sense, if the user is a teacher and teacher teaches in a village, where is that village located? So basically a full ecosystem. Okay, so we try to do that, and along with that we also create something called as customer journey. Because this is the first initial draft of customer journey. Basically we improve this, we work on it again later on once we have more understanding about the user, but this is basically rough journey. Okay, so we create that. So these are different artifacts, and this is basically the first stage. When once we have the understanding of what the problem is, we conduct research, and then once we have the research, we create some artifacts. So this is basically research. Okay, so
Excuse me, sir.
yeah, Sushant, please.
So, what's ethnography?
हाँ चलो, गुड है. तो एथनोग्राफी में क्या होता है कि अब मान लो कि आप एक टीचर के लिए ऐप बना रहे हो, ठीक है? ओके, नाउ अज्यूम दैट यू आर मेकिंग एन ऐप फॉर अ टीचर, और टीचर जो है वो विलेज में पढ़ाता है. फाइन. सो जब तक आप उसको समझोगे नहीं कि वो कहाँ पे पढ़ाता है, कैसे पढ़ाता है, कितना समय के लिए पढ़ाता है, क्या चीज़ें पढ़ाता है, सो यू विल नेवर बी एबल टू डिजाइन द राइट प्रोडक्ट फॉर हिम, राइट? सो इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट हिम, वो क्या क्या करता है, कैसे करता है और कैसे यूज़ करता है, व्हाट वी डू इज लाइक वी गो एंड स्पेंड टाइम विद हिम. ठीक है? तो हम जैसे अगर मैं टीचर के लिए बना रहा हूँ, तो व्हाट आई विल डू इज आई विल गो एंड स्पेंड टाइम विद हिम. उसके स्कूल पे जाऊँगा, उसके क्लास पूरे साथ में बैठ के अटेंड करूँगा, देखूंगा कि वो जो प्रोडक्ट अगर है तो कैसे यूज़ कर रहा है, अगर एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट है, अगर नहीं है तो उसकी नीड क्या है और क्या प्रॉब्लम है जो उसको सॉल्व करना है. सो दोज थिंग्स. सो बेसिकली हम जब यूज़र के साथ में टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं और पूरा उसका इकोसिस्टम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि वो कैसे यूज़ कर रहा है, क्यों कर रहा है, एंड ऑल दो थिंग्स, दैट इज बेसिकली कॉल्ड एज एथनोग्राफी स्टडी. एंड डोंट वरी, ये आप लोग सब करोगे अभी. ओके, टुडे आई विल गिव यू होमवर्क एंड देन वी विल स्टार्ट विद ईच स्टेज. फाइन.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
अभी
Fine.
we just understand these terms, क्योंकि I know like I'm giving you a complete list because as a designer you need to know this list. You need to know all these items or the activities or artifacts. क्योंकि later on अगर मान लो कि आपने क्लास एक कोर्स खत्म कर लिया, वर्कशॉप खत्म होगी, and suddenly somebody tells you like, oh you know like we should do this ethnography study, आपको पता ही नहीं होगा तो फिर वो प्रॉब्लम है. कम से कम वो वर्ड तो पता होना चाहिए कि ethnography study क्या है, तो आप फिर मैनेज कर सकते हो, राइट? सो दैट्स वाई मैं बहुत डिटेल में जा रहा हूँ. दिस इज लाइक वेरी एडवांस वाला जो सिखा रहा हूँ मैं. ओके, सो कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा, डोंट वरी, बिकॉज आई विल बी एक्सप्लेनिंग ईच एंड एवरीथिंग इन द कमिंग सेशंस. अभी तो आई एम जस्ट गिविंग अ फुल ओवरव्यू ऑफ एवरीथिंग फॉर द फुल यूएक्स प्रोसेस. फाइन. सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेज. इन द फर्स्ट स्टेज, as I said, basically we first try to understand the problem, and then once we have the understanding of the problem statement or the problem, we go and do the research, we talk to the user, and also do like secondary research, primary research, and once we have the good insights, we basically do some kind of or create some artifacts. Okay, and we'll learn more about it, don't worry. So in this first stage, what we do is like we try to understand what is the ask is basically the problem statement, and we do research to get insights. So that's the first stage. Fine, easy. And in this, what we do is like we use a lot of different methods. So एक है qualitative research method and the other is quantitative research method. और qualitative में what we do is like we focus on exploring ideas and formulating a hypothesis. Okay, इसमें basically क्या होता है, when the problem statement is defined on the basis of hypothesis, कुछ assumptions ली जाती है and उसके basis पे वो problem statement define की जाती है, right? So हम जब रिसर्च करते हैं एंड व्हेन वी डू दिस क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च, व्हाट वी जनरली ट्राई टू डू इज लाइक वी ट्राई टू वैलिडेट कि हमने जो हाइपोथेसिस लिया था या अजम्पशंस लिए थे वो सही है कि नहीं सही है. ठीक है, मान लो हमने सोचा कि अरे वो तो जो स्कूल का जो टीचर है वो तो सिर्फ 3 घंटे पढ़ाता है, मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जाम्पल, और 6 घंटे पढ़ाता है जिसमें से सिर्फ 2 घंटे हमारा प्रोडक्ट यूज़ करेगा. बट एक्चुअली हो सकता है कि 2 घंटे करे ना, वो 1 ही घंटा करे. फाइन. और 1 घंटा करेगा, एक वो हो गया. दूसरा हमने सोचा था कि उसके बाद इंटरनेट अच्छा होगा, बट इट माइट बी लाइक उसके पास इंटरनेट कनेक्शन अच्छा नहीं होगा स्कूल में क्योंकि विलेज में है, राइट? सो कुछ अजम्पशंस होती हैं. सो वो अजम्पशंस को हम वैलिडेट करने के लिए वी डू दिस क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च. ओके, एंड देयर आर लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च, बट जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि क्वालिटेटिव रिसर्च होता है कि मतलब जिसमें हमें रिजल्ट जो है वो नंबर में नहीं मिलता है. ओके, वी बेसिकली talk in this kind of methods. We basically conduct interviews and we get answers in the form of words and all. Okay, so qualitative research is basically focuses on exploring ideas and formulating a hypothesis, and is analyzed by summarizing, categorizing, and interpreting the findings, mainly expressed in words, requires few respondents, open-end questions, and key terms. कोर इसका क्या होता है, ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होता है, कोर ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है अंडरस्टैंडिंग, कि हमने जो सोच के हमने ये प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट डिफाइन किया, या हम सोच रहे हैं कि देयर इज अ नीड, वो सही है कि नहीं सही है. ओके, और जिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम बात कर रहे हैं, हम समझ रहे हैं कि ये प्रोडक्ट यूज होगा, वो भी सही है कि नहीं सही है, और कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है, कितना सिंपल है. सो दोज थिंग्स. तो इसका कोर होता है कि हम बेसिकली जो भी हमने आइडियाज और अजम्पशंस ले रखे हैं अपने प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए, वो हमने सही है कि नहीं सही है, उसको वैलिडेट करते हैं. ओके, इसमें हम इंटरव्यू लेते हैं, आस्क क्वेश्चंस टू द यूजर्स and try to get answers. Okay, so that is basically one method. The other is basically focus group. In this, what we do is like we have discussion among a group of people about a topic. Like it could be like one topic, might be like adding a new user. Okay, that could be like one topic. So basically we have focus discussion with focus group. Okay, ताकि उसके बारे में और हम समझ सकें. लाइक एथनोग्राफी में क्या होता है, देखो, पार्टिसिपेशन इन अ कम्युनिटी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर एन एक्सटेंडेड पीरियड ऑफ टाइम टू क्लियरली ऑब्जर्व कल्चर एंड बिहेवियर. उसका बैकग्राउंड कहाँ है, वो कहाँ से आता है, क्या काम करता है, कितने घंटे काम करता है, तो उसकी पूरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग करने के लिए, समझने के लिए, यूजर के लिए हम ये करते हैं. एंड देन इस लिटरेचर रिव्यू इज बेसिकली सर्वे ऑफ पब्लिश्ड वर्क्स बाय अदर ऑथर्स. जो भी पब्लिश मटेरियल है उसको हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं. या विद्याश्री, यू हैव सम क्वेश्चन?
So what is open-ended questions?
Okay, so open-ended question क्या होता है, like whenever we are conducting research, we don't ask closed-ended question. Like, you know, closed-ended example could be like, do you like this product? Yes, no. That is a closed-ended. But open-ended is basically you just ask a question which is open and you don't give them the sample answers. Okay, it could be like, how are you using our app? This is a very open-ended question. Which feature do you use the most in our application? So that is an open-ended. Rather than like reducing the focus, giving them the answers along with the questions, we try to keep it open. Okay?
You should not
That
be
is basically open-ended
specific on one.
See, we are there to understand them, right? Their problems, their expectations. And if we'll start asking them direct questions or close-ended questions, it will not get the right insight, right? So that's why like we ask open-ended questions. We keep our questions very open. Open-ended questions allows them or to speak more, right? So that's why we ask these open-ended questions. Yeah. And these are like some quantitative methods. Quantitative में क्या होता है कि like we get the result in the form of numbers. Okay. And this here also we are also we basically test the hypothesis or assumptions, but we get the result in the form of numbers. And for this, what we do is like we conduct surveys. We conduct a lot of experiments. That is basically a lot of A/B testing kind of thing. Like if you have an existing product, we basically what we do is like we keep the full design the same, but change very few things or like make few variations and then test and experiment. So that could be like one example. Testing with the users and giving them some questions and getting the answers in the form of numbers and those things. So we'll get more into this. We'll get detail and talk about this later. So Aaj is just an overview of everything, okay? Because I want to give you an explanation or an overview of the full process. And from the next class, we'll start talking about each stage, like what we do in each stage, and we'll get in detail, okay? The second is basically, once we have the understanding of like what is the problem statement, and after we have done the research, we try to analyze, we try to understand what is the real problem. And basis the learning and the feedback from the user, we start creating different artifacts, okay, and defining the future course of action. So in this, after we are done with the research, we basically create or finalize our problem statement, because earlier the problem statement was based on assumptions, but here it's refined because after the research we get some insight, we got some insight, right? So basis that, we refine our problem statement, and we also define the objective of like why we are working on that product or whatever it is, or the service and so on. And also we define what is the value proposition, in the sense like what is that value or unique value that we can give to the user, okay? Because this is very important from the product point. And then SWOT analysis is basically हमारा strength क्या है as a product, as a company, हमारी weakness क्या है, और market में what are the different opportunities and what are the threats, in the terms of like who are the competitors who are also working in the same space. So we'll do that, okay? So don't worry if you don't know what is SWOT analysis and all those things. And along with that, once we have the understanding, we go and discuss with the senior management that, oh, so this is what we learned, and there were like some assumptions which we saw that didn't it's not working anymore because people or the users are not thinking from that point, or don't need that part of the product or whatever, like we basically have a lot of discussion with the stakeholders. And once we are done with the stakeholders interviews or management meetings and all, so what we then do is we define the roadmap, or basically we finalize the roadmap in the sense like, okay, so in the next 6 months we'll be developing these features, okay, or this would be the part of the MVP, and in the next 6 months we'll be adding something else. So we basically finalize the roadmap, and so that's basically the product roadmap. And business roadmap is basically what will the business do, how will it operate, and so on. So you don't need to like focus on the business roadmap. You basically work closely with the product owners to understand like what is the product roadmap. So okay, and then once we have the understanding of everything, what we are working and why we are creating that product, we create different artifacts. Okay, we create affinity map. पहले affinity map बनाते हैं interview के बाद, and then we create empathy map, personas. We'll understand all these things like what is persona, what is empathy map, and all those things. And also we try to understand what is the pain point of the user. We draft it, we put it in the empathy map, in the personas, right? And also we try to create user journey mapping. And along with that, we also create user journey mapping and experience mapping is kind of the same thing. We club both and like create that. So these are different artifacts, okay? And if you're not understanding, it's fine, don't worry. So we'll get in detail. We'll talk about this in detail. And we also use a lot of 5 Ws and 1 H. So in order to understand and like decide what should we do, what we should be doing. So that's basically 5 W and 1 H. 5 W is basically all the Ws. That is basically what, where, when, who, and so on. And H is basically how. So basically, how will the user use the product, and so on, something like that. We try to frame a lot of questions. And similarly, where will the user use the product? Okay, what will he use the product for? So we try to like frame a lot of these kind of questions, and that really helps us understand more about the user and how this product could be used. Fine. And then we also define or list the key metrics. Okay, and that's basically called as the key performance metrics for the metrics that would define the success of the product. It could be registrations, number of registrations. It could be basically sales, revenue. Okay, what is the core objective? Why the business is working and creating that product? So it's important to understand. This is how this empathy map looks. Okay, so empathy map is what? A tool used by designers to understand user behavior and visually communicate the findings to colleagues for a shared understanding of user needs. So you don't need to understand this. So this is just a map that we create, and you'll understand this later because we'll be working and creating this map together. Okay, so we create empathy map. We also create persona. This is a fictional representation of the user group. Okay, and we also define something like the task flows or the user flow of, suppose, for example, if the user has to make a payment on the application, so what would be the flow of that? So that is basically task flow. Similarly, we'll be working and creating something called as user journey. So when using the product, what would the general journey of the user be? Like, downloading the product, installing the product, then registering, and then using the product, and so on. And post this, and basically pre this and post this also. Like, before downloading the application, what's happening in his mind, and like what are the action that he's taking or takes. And similarly, like once he has used, what are the next steps? So we try to map everything in the form of user journey. And once that's done, we do the ideation. Okay, जब clarity हो जाती है कि हमने क्या बनाना है, तो like क्या problem है, okay, so we start doing the ideation. And in this, what we do is like we call people from different teams, and then we ideate. We do a lot of whiteboarding sessions, and then we come up with a lot of ideas. Okay, so if there are like suppose 5 people involved in the team, you might come up with like 4 different ideas of like how to execute and design the product. So you basically write everything, and then you select one of the ideas. Okay, and once you have the idea, what you do is like you create storyboard. And once you have the storyboard, you would also define basically the information architecture of like how the information should be placed, or like what should be the journey of the user, and how should the information be disclosed, or in the sense like what should be the flow of the information on the screens, and so on. So we design so many different artifacts. Okay, and screen flows बनाते हैं हम, उसके बाद में we design the layouts. Okay, this is all the brainstorming or the rough sketches that we do, and once we have that, we prioritize using different models, like, okay, so what should be developed first or designed first. Okay, so storyboard mein, this is how the storyboard looks, and this is how the information architecture is, like one example of the information architecture. There are like other formats also, and then user scenario and use cases also we write. So don't worry, we'll learn about this. Screen flows is basically एक screen के बाद दूसरा screen कैसे flow होगा और कैसा task complete होंगे. So those things we will create together. So once we are done with the ideation, the designers get into designing the screens. And in this phase, what we do is like we create wireframes, we create lo-fi design, hi-fi designs, and फिर उसको हम validate करते हैं. We go and approach the users and test with them. Okay, so we do the testing, and once we get the feedback, we basically iterate the design, we refine the design, and basically then we create the final prototype. Okay, we create like prototype, lo-fi prototype, hi-fi prototype. We do this, and we also test this. Okay, so her stage may we go and test with the user, but once we have the final prototype, we again go and test with the user. This is how the wireframe looks like, lo-fi, hi-fi. This is prototype, and once we have this, we go and test, and once the testing is done, so we basically then either ship it in the market, or we basically if there's some modification, we again refine that. So in this case, we use again similar kind of like we did in the research. Similarly, we use different kind of qualitative and quantitative methods. So in the qualitative is basically we use survey करते हैं हम लोग कि ये product है, आपको कैसा लगा product, क्या इसमें खराबी थी, क्या what could be improved. So we try to get a lot of feedback from the user. And there are other form of testing, that is basically A/B testing, then multivariant testing, then data analysis. Okay, but data analysis doesn't work with the new product, but if it's an existing product and if you're refining something, then we make use of data. Okay, and pilot test to ठीक है, and then along with that we also do a lot of different testing, that is basically usability testing. उसको हम task देते हैं लोगों को, and we make them complete some task and see like whether they are able to perform those tasks or not. And if they are stuck somewhere, then what is the problem? We try to have discussion with these participants, the testing participants, and we try to get their comments and feedbacks. Okay, there are advanced softwares which also tracks the eye movement, eyeball movement and all. So वो भी करते हैं हम advanced अगर complex product है तो. And then also we do heuristic analysis. That is basically we call experts to review our products and the application, so that we can get the right feedback from the experts. Okay, or users से feedback हम लेते हैं. So this is what we do, and along with that we also go and test in the market. Might be like we might in this case ship a smaller version of the app and test with some users in the market. We sometimes do that, and we also benchmark. Okay, so like who are the other players and where they stand, and also like compare their features and their product with our version of the product and see like where we stand. So that's basically we try to benchmark our product with the other markets products in the market, and then we basically evolve the roadmap, like और future में कैसे करेंगे जो refine किया था हमने वहाँ पे. So these are the different things that we do. Okay, so in this phase we basically test and improve the designs, and once everything is good, we ship it to the market. Okay, so there are different methods. I'll not get into this, and this is important. So whenever you're designing, keep these basic things. Okay, the basic thing is basically whenever you're working, focus on the real users. So in the first stage itself, you should know like, okay, so who are the real users and for whom you are creating the product. So that is very important. So whenever you're creating, whenever you're working, you should meet their needs. Okay, so basically research me whatever your findings where, keep that at the center, think about the user, and then create the product. Fine. Parallelly, also focus on the business goals, because business is one who will be investing money and resources. So it's also important as a designer to keep business goals in mind when designing the product, and then make design informed decisions. So that is basically whenever you're thinking about like implementing a new feature or considering one experience and so on. So basically you should try to use data if you have data. If you don't have, then it's okay, but if you have some data, you should use data to make design decisions. And whenever working, think about the user's mental model. That is basically किस लिए use करेगा product. अगर if the product is for watching videos, then you should understand like वो किस तरह से watch करता है video, है ना? So all those things. So basically वो context you should be aware of. And when we are designing something, be consistent. Like if you are using a button that's a primary CTA with a green color, then it should be there. It should be consistent across all screens. Simple language use होना चाहिए whenever you're creating any application. Don't use technical jargons. I've talked about it earlier. Always consider this usability and accessibility. Okay, I think like yes, in the last session only I talked about this. And don't complicate design. Only show or give information that is relevant at that particular time. Don't give too much of information in one go, and then take regular feedback from the users. So involve your users in the process. It's important. And yeah, if you're working on multiple devices or basically designing a omni-channel experience, then you should make the experience consistent and seamless. For example, like this Google, you know, like when I'm signing into Google, so whether I'm on mobile or on desktop, right? So I can access the same information on both this. So that's why I give them seamless experience. This I already talked about it, right? So there are many popular UX methods. So you can read about it. It's always good to read about these processes, and later on you can select any and use any of this process in your design. Okay. So this is what it is. This is what it is, and I think most of them gets confused with these two terms, like what is UX and what is UI. So UX is the complete thing. So you start from the research till the final delivery of the product. So here what you're trying to do is like you're trying to take care of the experience of the user. So you're basically try to basically improve the experience by following different processes and using different methods. But UI is only the presentation layer. Okay, that is basically the design, the presentation layer, design layer that uses images, colors, and then fonts, right? Icons, illustrations. So the design hota hai, that design is basically the UI and the experience that the user gets. Okay, and the process that you follow is basically the user experience process and the UX. So UX starts at the very start of the idea and it goes all the way through the lifetime of the product. User interface, on the other hand, only includes the presentation layer which the user uses to interact with the product. Fine. So experience है कि जो प्रोडक्ट बना है वो क्यों बना है, ऐसे कैसे बना है, क्या यूज करके कैसा लगता है, क्या वो सिंपल है, कॉम्प्लेक्स है. So that is basically the experience, but the UI is only the design part. Fine. So understand that. So user experience is what? Is basically what the user wants to achieve. Okay, it's basically alignment between the user and the business goals. It's about the project roadmap and the scope, and then the different activities like research, personas, task flows, so everything. And we do a lot of this kind of like activities, and the core objective is to improve the experience of the user, and that is basically UX. Okay, user interface is what? Is what to make. It's about the design system, it's about the branding, it's about the colors, it's about the mock-up, it's about screens, it's about iconography, illustrations, and so on. So you should understand the difference between the two. Fine. So I think I talked about it. So the great user experience is everyone's responsibility, right? So whosoever is part of that team and responsible for the product, he is also, it's his responsibility also to like make good experience. So remembering this is very important. And also remember that if you really want to get good in design and want to create good experience, you should read about human psychology, because that will really help you understand like how human thinks, why they make some decisions, and what is the thought process of the user before taking any action. So we should understand that. We should read books on human psychology also. So why? Because see, as a UX designer, we create products for other humans, right? So understanding other humans, understanding users, understanding the psychology behind the users or how they think and decide and so on is very important. So you should read about this also. And yeah, so success of the product can vary based on the understanding that the UX designer has about human psychology and its real users. So it's important to understand this, that अगर अच्छा product बनाना है, successful product बनाना है, तो human के psychology को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Fine. And yeah, so future में इसकी demand बढ़ेगी, like people, there will be a huge demand, a big demand for these UX designers, because everything is becoming a touch point. Earlier, what used to be the only touch point? The website. Fine. But now mobile is a touch point. Your a smartwatch is a touch point. Your TV is a touch point. Your kiosk is a touch point, right? So you can access the same information on so many different platforms. So since this is growing, touch points are growing. So that means that there will be an increased demand of UX people in the future. Okay. And also customers or consumers expectations are high. Basically, people or the users demands is increasing, right? Demand is increasing. So that's why there will be like demand of UX also, because in order to meet the need of the people, the companies will need the UX people. Okay. And market rules are changing. So if you really want to be competitive, if you really want to like grow as a UX designer, you need to refine your skills. The more you refine, the better you get in your skills. They will be like you will be hired, and your future will be bright, right? And also, since you're getting in the UX, and the future will be about like augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, big data, and all. So you should also read about that and understand the concept of that. Okay, so you should understand like what is the difference between augmented reality, virtual reality, and so on. Similarly, personalization is design is very important. Don't make a general design or an experience. It should be personalized to the person or the user you are making that design or the experience for. Okay, so personalizing the experience is very important. And since in future, like this all these industries, all these big companies, they're investing a lot of money, so therefore there will be like huge demand. So that's why like you should spend and refine your skills. It's important, and the more you refine, the chances and the opportunity will be like more for you. So as I talked earlier, so by understanding the emotions, human behaviors, and people's motivation, okay, so you can really bring create great products. So the core is understanding the user. So going, talking to them, sitting with them, understanding the problem, understanding their need, and understanding like why they would be using the product and what they would be solving or what problem they would be solving is important. It's very important for the UX people. So that's why like research is very important in this whole UX process. And yeah, so this is also important, right? So understanding what is UX strategy and like how to define your own strategy. So when we're working on something, any product, you should basically first understand the business vision. What is the business trying to achieve? And then understand the user goals. Okay, why will the user use the product? What is that extra thing that you'll give to the user, or the value that the user will get by using your product? So when you understand these two things, so try to understand like whatever you are planning to create or whatever solution you're planning to develop, would that be technically feasible? If yes, then the best thing. So that's why like as a designer, it's important to understand the UX process. It's important to understand like who the users are, what they will be using this product for. It's also important to understand the technology, because till the time don't you won't know about the technology, you'll not be able to leverage this technology in your experience and the solutions. So the right alignment between the three is very important. Fine. And it will come with time. So don't worry, like you won't get it in the first day itself. It will come with time, and you'll have to read few things, okay, about the technology and like how these things works and so on. So you'll get it. And from the next class, we'll be working on this product. We'll be taking a solution and then work on a product. So when working on this, we'll have to like create our own strategy and then define the features and so on, and then create the product. So we'll do that from the next session. And yeah, these are a few books if you want to read about this, about experience, product, and psychology. So you should read these books. Okay, these are few other books, but start with like one or two. Okay, so this is the exercise, or this is what we will be starting from the next session. So from next session, what we'll do is like we'll start working on a problem. So these are like few of the problem statements. Okay, so these are like from a previous workshop. So you can select one from this. I'll send in this in the group. So you can select any one from these, like, or I have many. Okay, so you can select any. Then these are like from the hackathon that I conducted. You can select any of this topic, and we can vote, or if you have some other topic or like problem statement, then we can select from that also. The core idea is that we'll be selecting one problem statement, and then we'll use that problem to understand everything about the UX, and then we'll use this UX process to finally create a product. Okay, So that like you will also know like how this UX process is used in a practical way. Fine. So that's what we'll do. So the homework for you will be like to come up with the right problem statement, or like many problem statements.